In this video, we'll be discussing the Fant heel kit for the use of our patients that are suffering from plantar fasciitis, which is a type of heel pain. There's 3 items in that kit. There's also a little handout that talks about how they're going to use a few of these items to actually stretch and actually break up some of the scar tissue that's developing in that plantar fascial band. The first thing that does that actual breakup of that scar tissue and actually helps to stretch is the foot roller. This little guy is something the patients can use twice a day. I would instruct the patient to throw it in the freezer when they're not using it. That way it's nice and cold and actually gives them some, it actually stiffens up a bit when they do that. And that cold actually breaks up some of the inflammation in the plantar fasciitis. And the way we instruct the patient on use of this is literally they'll put it on the floor when they're having their morning coffee or their dinner, and whenever they're resting, and basically roll it back and forth in their arch. And they want to do that for several minutes. And when they hit the heel, they should feel discomfort. If they're not getting that little tear in their eye, that means they're not pressing hard enough. That pressure is actually breaking up the scar tissue and actually releasing some of the tightness in that band. It does that with these little tiny ridges on the outside, and that's very important with this. The other thing that we have for patients is something called BioFreeze. BioFreeze is kind of like Bengay, but doesn't stink like Bengay does. It has a little roller applicator on there, and patients would apply this up to 4 times a day, and it literally confuses the nerves that send the pain signals to the brain so they don't experience so much discomfort during the day when they're going through their normal activities. The last thing on there, and I won't take it out of the bag, but is a long elastic band that you'll see they're called PT bands or TheraBands is another name for that. These little guys are designed to help the patient stretch, especially if they've been resting for a long period of time. For example, sleeping, when they wake up in the morning, their heels can be very painful. So do a quick stretch of the foot with this band, which there's instructions on how to do that right here on our handout. It does a great job of alleviating some of that pain. It's also a nice thing if they are sitting in a chair for long periods of time or at work, they can put that by their desk. And so they don't get up and look like they're an 80-year-old man. They have this band to stretch so they can walk comfortably after that long period of rest. So this is the Fant heel kit.